my name is Louise and welcome to Adventures with Yarn. This is my knitting and crochet podcast in which I talk mainly about knitting and crochet and occasionally sometimes other crafts that I get up to. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are new, welcome. If you are already a subscriber, welcome back. As always, if you like what you see, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. All right, oh my gosh, it's been a while. I hope you guys are all doing really well. I have a lot of things to show you. I have been taking a bit of a hiatus from YouTube, but I'm super excited to get back into the swing of things to show you guys some things that I've been working on. Yeah, so I have finished objects. I have a work in progress. I do not have any yarn acquisitions, which is incredible for me. I've been trying really hard not to spend money on yarn to use up my stash, and I've been doing okay. I've been doing all right. I can't say, I can't speak to the future, especially this Christmas when advent calendars are coming up on sale. But, Alright, so I want to show you guys some things. I have been working on gift knitting. Knitmas season is upon us. If you are unfamiliar with Knitmas, that is the time of year when we are making things to give away for Christmas, making your Christmas gifts. So I have some finished beanies. I've been using my stash yarn, like I said, and trying to think of some kind of quick gifts. Sometimes I start Knitmas like super early, like even in the summertime, and it didn't quite work out that way this year, but I have had some time to make something. So this is a crocheted beanie called the Harvest Beanie, and I love crocheting. I crochet much faster than I do knitting, but I was reminded, like, I really struggle with finding a crocheted hat that fits how I want it to fit. I still have an end to weave in on this thing, but I will show you. When I put this on, it is quite the slouchy beanie, which is fine. I guess it's just not, it's kind of loose. I don't know. I made this one so that you could fold it up to make it a little more fitted. So I think actually it is going to be what I want it to be. It just, I don't know. I just struggle. I just struggle with crocheted hats. But I really like the shell type pattern on this. I think this might be some Vanna White yarn. It is just bargain yarn in my stash, but a lovely shade of pink. And it busted my stash. It did exactly what I wanted it to do, to use it to make a quick project. I do believe I made this in one day, which was awesome. And so this will be a Christmas gift knit for someone. Another quick gift knit that I made is this awesome beanie. This is the Falmouth Super Chunky Beanie. I grabbed this super chunky yarn out of my stash as well. It's so much fun. Look at this, purple with all different kinds of speckles. And if you can see, the knitting pattern swirls around. This one took me a couple days. And of course I made a pom-pom with the extra there. So much fun. Another gift knit, but relatively quick hat. Stash yarn. Again, this is some bargain yarn, super bulky. I probably got it at Hobby Lobby in the past. But yeah, I'm excited to give this one away. Yeah, another gift knit for Christmas as part of Knitmas is this beanie. This is the Deco beanie. So I made this with, for sure, Vanna White yarn. It's in my stash. I don't know the colorway. These yarns have been in my stash with the labels ripped off of them. But this is a bit more masculine. It will be for a male member of the family. It has an interesting rib pattern down here. It's kind of hard to tell, it looks like on the camera, but the ribbing kind of has a very subtle pattern, and then the hat itself is like purled all over. I suppose if you wanted that knit texture, you could flip it inside out, but it is meant to be like this. I have a very particular member of the family in mind for this hat. So like I mentioned, I like to crochet. I might prefer crocheting to knitting when it comes to something fast. But as far as gift giving, and making hats in general, I feel like the knitted ones just kind of, the fit turns out a bit better, a little bit nicer, and I was in a crunch, and so I made knitted hats for everybody except one crocheted hat because, like I said, I was in a time crunch, and this one particular individual got a crocheted hat, and it didn't quite fit perfectly. So, but they were very gracious. They loved it, of course, because I made it for them. But that particular family member is now getting the first knitted beanie of Knitmas, so they will have that. I feel like I'm rushing through these things. I hope you guys don't feel like that. I am just so excited to be back. It's, like I said, it has been quite a while. As you guys all know, 2020 has just been meh. And so I feel like a little rusty too, but I'm just gonna keep up with keep on showing you all these knitted and crocheted goodness. Okay, so what next? I have this hat. This is a fun one. This is the Penny Royale, and I have a removable pom-pom on top here. So this is a gift knit also. The individual can choose if they want the pom-pom to be on it or not. I want to say some more Vanna White yarn. Yarn from my stash. Bargain yarn, acrylic, but how pretty is this green? And then it's got this pattern, this zigzag pattern. I feel like on the cover of the pattern, it kind of looked more classy. And then I started making it and I was like, I hope this person doesn't feel like this just looks like the Charlie Brown emblem, you know, pattern. Hopefully this is something that will just give it just enough of a, you know, of a difference from just a plain knit beanie, just something, a little interest there. And they've got the pom-pom. I picked out the brown for this color. I feel like these look really good together, and the person that I have this in mind for, I could just see this looking really nice on them. So that's that. I have also another Penny Royale on the needles. This yarn is, again, from Hobby Lobby. Wow, I feel like I'm really repeating myself, but I guess that's my stash. My stash is made up of a lot of the same things. So I have this yarn. Oh, I got rid of the label. Maybe it's not Hobby Lobby. I wanted to say it was. I guess it's not. No, this is Lion Brand. It's like mandala tweed. I don't remember the colorway, but it spoke to me from on the shelves, and I started another Penny Royale hat. Oh, I found it. So yes, mandala tweed stripes, and it's the colorway Buddha. And let's see here. So started another one with that yarn, and this is what we have so far. Just the ribbing, but you can see the colors have started to already change, which is the fun part. I felt like I thought I knew who this would be intended for when I started making it, especially given like the purples, but I don't know how far into this yarn cake the hat's going to go. So the very first one might be a little darker, the darker colors yarns with the reds and oranges, which will be fine. I think this is a very versatile pattern as far as, you know, gender specific. So I'll be excited to see how this goes. What's actually sad is I had knit this up to finish the pattern, the zigzag pattern on it, and then was realizing that things weren't lining up, and so I had to like rip it back. But I was ripping back to the middle of the zigzag pattern and then finding that it was too hard to keep track of the stitches without dropping them in the middle of the pattern because of the yarn overs and slip stitches, and picking those up was just such a mess. And so it was really sad to have to tear back all the way, but at least I didn't have to tear the entire thing out. I still have the ribbing, so I'll be doing that some more. This has a stitch marker on it that was given to me. I'm fairly sure that Amanda of Yarnanigans gave me this stitch marker, and I love it because it has a little nurse's hat on it and a heart, and I am a nurse, and so I really like that. Also, I was using the stitch marker on the previous Pennyroyal hat because the intended recipient for that hat is also a nurse, and so it just kind of gave me the good vibes, I guess, which is always important in a stitch marker, right? I mean, it is for me. That's what I like. Another thing to show you, a finished beanie that I made for myself. I'm pretty sure this was on the needles the last podcast that I filmed. I don't remember the pattern. It's probably in my notes from last time, so I'll put it down below, but let me show you this. Whoa! It's a very basic beanie pattern, but this yarn is anything but basic. This yarn is from Amy Florence of the Stranded Dye Works and the Stranded podcast. I don't remember where I got this huge pink fluffy pom-pom, but when I found it in my stash, I was just like, yes, I need to do something to have a big pink fluffy pom-pom. Even like at first I thought, well, maybe it doesn't match as much as I thought. Guess what? It'll match. I will make it match. I will rock this thing. I'm all about this huge pom-pom. So this yarn is her very special colorway called Wash Your Hands. She made 2 COVID colorways, Wash Your Hands and Don't Touch Your Face. I still have Don't Touch Your Face. This one, Wash Your Hands, I have in a DK, so I made this hat out of the DK weight, and you can see it kind of self-stripes itself, which I wouldn't have anticipated, but I'm here for it. It's gorgeous. I love it. And then my other one of hers, the Don't Touch Your Face, is fingering weight, so I'll be making myself some socks eventually. But yeah, loving it, loving it. So there's that. As far as other projects, and also speaking of COVID, I got into making ear savers. So I have a bunch of these here, and actually what was really cool, I was making these for people at work. I work at a hospital, and you know, everyone has to wear masks, Even if we're not specifically caring for patients with COVID, we have to wear surgical masks, and also like we're state mandated. I know not every state has a mask mandate, but many of them do. And sometimes when the masks are on your ears all day long, they can hurt, and they hurt people. So I have these ear savers. Let me grab just the one. I made these out of cotton yarn, and this is a free pattern from Ravelry. And I sewed on these buttons, and basically what you do is, depending on the preference, you can put these behind. A lot of people put them down below, down here, and then hook the straps of the masks to the buttons. So you have the smaller size for people that put them underneath their ears, behind their neck. Then you have the larger size, basically the 6-inch. There's 5-inch is a smaller one, 6-inch is a larger one, and this one people are more so putting up behind their ears. For people that prefer to have the mask ear straps kind of go up a little bit higher on their face. And then I have one very personalized, extra long 7-inch for someone who really wants it pretty high up there. So what's been awesome is this is like the 3rd or 4th batch that I've made for my coworkers. They seem to really appreciate these, which just touches my heart. Personally, I have not had my ears get sore. If anything, now we have to also wear protective eyewear with every single patient. So I have like these plastic goggles that I just keep up when I'm not in a patient's room, so I can just tuck them down when I am in a patient's room. If anything, those actually have kind of been hurting my ears, but I don't see a solution for that being on my head. I probably see a solution for that as in like some people have like these little magnetic hooks that they're putting on their uniform so they can tuck their goggles right there, so they have it right there. Anyways, I gotta figure it out. But my coworkers seem to really appreciate the ear savers. They get snatched up, I'm telling you. I bring in a batch maybe of like 12 or 14 at a time, and I bring them and I set them in the break room. At the beginning of my shift, that's when the day shift is coming in, and we go and do a shift change with the night shift, and then the night shift goes into the break room. They get their stuff to get to leave for the day. And so between the day shift and the night shift, like, they're gone. Like, they don't last. They don't last into the afternoon. And then the sad thing is that I get people like asking me if I could make them some more, and especially over these last couple months, I only have so much crafting in me. We'll talk about personal life stuff later. But it just has been nice to do something for other people. So I have more ear savers to take to work. It's been a great way also to use up my cotton yarn. I also had people donating me cotton yarn. I had some people donating me buttons. So that was really cool. Also, I mean, a lot of really cool stuff related to COVID and people crafting just in my very immediate circle. Also, I've got coworkers making hair covers, caps, making masks for people to wear in public. Because of the hospital, we can't wear cloth masks, but my coworkers have been making cloth masks for us to use out in public. And what else? They were also making headbands with buttons on them too. So if people prefer to have a headband with buttons on it to put their mask ear straps on, they could do that. Compared to the ear savers, which are not all the way around the head, and different preferences. But yeah, anyways. What else? So I have, like I've said like a million times already, not been on here very much. Definitely had a bit of inward retreating. dealing with life and stuff, but you may have noticed I've been trying to be a little bit more active on social media, especially Instagram, and trying to find ways to just kind of be happy, making sure to like intentionally get back into crafting, and basically also being very intentional about like soaking up the fall vibes. Fall makes me happy. Yes, it might be basic, but the pumpkin spice, things about fall, you know, going with my husband, we went and bought like some pumpkins to put on the porch. We're going to be carving some pumpkins, that kind of stuff, and just indulging in what I can find that makes me happy. So I found these crochet pumpkins, or rather I found the pattern for these crochet pumpkins. These are just freaking adorable. I love them so much. Basically, it's crocheted to look like it's knitted. And it's a free pattern on Pinterest. And you basically are crocheting a rectangle and then sewing it together and closing the bottom, and then I went out and bought some cinnamon sticks. Oh, smells so good. Some cinnamon sticks and some twine, and just stick the cinnamon stick in the top and wrap the twine around, and you have this adorable little pumpkin. This is some Red Heart Super Saver yarn out of my stash, again using polyfill that I'm also needing to use out of my stash. I decided to make another one too. This one is bigger. There's a pattern for a small pumpkin and a big pumpkin. I was worried that I didn't have enough of the of that orange color yarn that I made with the first one, especially for the bigger one, and the fact that this calls for a bulky yarn, so you can hold the worsted weight yarn double, and that's what I did with this one. With this, I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough of that color, so I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually two colors held together. The worsted weight Super Saver Red Heart yarn also held double with a Vanna White Lion Brand orange as well, so it kind of gives it a little bit different coloration. It smells really good. So again, the cinnamon stick on the top and the twine. These have been so cute just around the house. I think that I'm going to need to make some more of these if I can. I've had some friends willing to buy some. I don't know that I'm in enough of a crafty mojo place to be making enough to sell, but I think it could definitely be fun to make these like in other colors and pair them up with like maybe like a white, or if I have like a tweed sort of white. In fact, I saw something, let's see, even like a tweed like that could be fun, like a white pumpkin. I don't know. So anyways, that has been a lot of fun. And then I don't think that this blanket was finished the last time I podcasted, so I figured I would just bring this out again. I need to give this to my friend who had a baby, but I just wanted to show you this. This blanket here is finished. Whew, I could just wrap myself up in this. It's so soft. I don't remember what this is called. It's been finished for a while. I just need to give it to my friend. She had her little baby boy, and I think that she will love this. Crocheted blankets. Yes. I love it. I love doing it. So that's another finished pattern that I made. Very nice. And I have extra skeins, I have leftover yarn from the skeins that I used to make this. I don't know what I will do with those, but this was very, very nice. I really liked it. This yarn I definitely got from Joann Fabrics, and very soft, squishy. not the last thing, another thing to show you is some cross stitching. Oh, I can't believe I forgot to take it out of its hoop. So especially in this time that I had not been podcasting for a while, I hadn't really been knitting for a while, I did do a lot of cross stitching as well as a lot of Animal Crossing, which is a video game. But you may have seen this. I've shown this cross stitching on here before in the past. So this is what I have done so far. This is a dimensions project, and the pattern name is not very creative. It's just like called like something like pink flowers on a white chair. That's like what it's called. But I pretty much got the bouquet part of the flowers stitched in, and then started working my way to the chair and working my way down there. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes, you know, you're just in the mood to knit, sometimes you're just in the mood to stitch, and that really had come over me a lot in the last several months. I had especially been involved in the Facebook group, the Enchanted Stitching Challenge, I think is what it's called. And I would join in and try to stitch the challenges that were posted. They usually have to do with Disney movies, and that was a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to having this and framing it. I really like the way that the pink looks with the color of Aida fabric. As you know, I love pink. So I'll be excited to one day have this finished. It's a fairly large project, but I'll just keep working away on it. And then now we're on to the last project. I wish I had a cuter bag. This is not the right bag. Did I not bring it up here? Where is it? Oh my goodness. Here it is on the other side of me. So I've actually ran out of super cute project bags because I have several whips in my other project bags that I really like. So I just had this in this little pretty cheap project bag. But this is my sock for the festive knit along. Festive sock knit along? I think that's what it's called. It's Amy Florence's festive sock knit along 2020. Here we are. So this is my progress so far. This sock pattern is the Out of Rhythm sock pattern. And what's fun about this is that it has these cabled hearts. And even on the heel, there is a cabled heart on the heel. Goes there. It is a heel flap and gusset cuff down sock, and you can see that I have chosen a contrasting color. This is actually yarn that came in a sock set by Zoe, who is the maker behind Felicity Yarns, and she also has a podcast. You should check that out. And so you can see you have this bright red. It's called Cardinal. So festive. And then you have this teal tweed. Can you see all the specks on there? And this one is called Snow Globe, is the colorway. So I actually bought this last year, and like I said, try to work through my stash, right? So I pulled it out of my stash. I said, I'm going to join this festive sock along, try to do something, getting myself more involved, I guess, and, you know, pepping myself up, cheering myself up, and making socks for me too, which is not always the case, but in this case it will be. Especially because I just love, when I just saw this colorway on the Felicity Yarn Etsy shop last year, and I was just like, gotta have it. I gotta have it. And so I did. And now that I have it on, the needles is kind of giving me some Dr. Seuss vibes. Maybe because I'm like thinking about the Cat in the Hat, which is fine too, because you also have Dr. Seuss, you know, the Grinch that stole Christmas. I'm so here for it. These are going to be my Christmas socks for this year, or at least one pair of them. I gotta show you the stitch marker too. This is freaking adorable. It is, let's see if I can get it to face right side out. This is a stitch marker by Charmed and Dangerous, and how cute is that? A little gingerbread house. I bought this from her shop. She has a Etsy shop, Charmed and Dangerous. I think it's Charmed and Dangerous 79 is what I want to think. That's at least her Instagram. She had like this little Christmas surprise mystery set. That's what it was. And it came with like 4 or 5 little holiday stitch markers, and they were just adorable. So I'm really appreciating having that. As you can see, I had just finished the heel. So now I'm working on the gusset. It's a heel flapping gusset, and with this cable pattern there. So a lot of fun. Lots and lots of fun. And here's a close-up of the yarn too. That is Snow Globe. That's right. Okay. Well, that is my stuff. That's what I've been working on. Thank you so much for letting me blabber on and show you all the things that I've been making. I would love to hear from you guys, so feel free to comment down below. You can also find me on Instagram at Adventures with Yarn. You can, if you want to find me on Ravelry, I'm not super active there, but it's just Adventure with Yarn. And what else? There's also adventureswithyarn.com. That is usually the platform that I use going forward with like knit-alongs and prizes and giveaways and that kind of thing. But you should definitely check it out, especially if you happen to want a platform that is not Ravelry and maybe you want a more modern platform to host your own giveaways and such like that. There's like Ravelry, it's like you make a profile, you sign in, and you can make your own groups. You can have your own profile, put your own photos. It's a lot of fun. I think it's still a playground that's not completely utilized to its full potential yet. But feel free, if you want a place to be, go check it out. It's free. You do have to just sign up, make a profile, but it is free. So I saved the personal stuff for last. Basically, I think, you know, 2020 has just been a heck of a year for everybody. On my last podcast, I already mentioned some things. Let me tell you guys what, 2020 is just like stacking it on. I'm not even joking. I was stacking all this crap. Basically, just to list it all out, I guess. I had my mother-in-law pass away. My husband got COVID, had to be hospitalized. I got COVID. We're both better and fine. We had a scare about my dog. We thought that my little dog Houdini wasn't going to make it. And then, oh, how long has it been now? It's been a month. 2 months. It's been 2 months now. My little sister passed away. She died of complications related to her addiction to alcohol, and she's only 28 years old. It's been rough. It's been rough. I think, you know, it's kind of I kind of don't even know like what more to say about it. It gets hard. I took time off to go down to be with my family in California, and that was really healing for me. And I notice in myself this this tendency to kind of retreat and pull in and just kind of try to distance myself from the reality of it as a coping mechanism. But my family's been awesome checking in with me. And I guess it's just one of those things that, you know, you just don't expect life to be a certain way, and then it is. But we put together a virtual memorial service for her, and I was really hopeful that what we put on that website that was her memorial service would maybe speak to any of her other friends who might also be dealing with addiction, alcohol or otherwise, to just, you know, awareness of what can happen to you. But you know, she is such a beautiful person, and I really feel that she is in a better place, and that she is able to now finally live her life to the fullest. And I personally believe that I will see her again when I die, and so that gives me a little bit of peace. But yeah, so these things to say that I've been, you know, working on some internal healing, coping, and also trying to find ways in which to indulge in things that make me happy and give me joy. And so, especially now with the knitmas coming upon us, that does give me a lot of joy. Gift knitting for others gives me a lot of joy, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this episode, and make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you are well, and I'll see you next time.